Today we're going to talk about bus lanes. A lot of people habitually don't use bus lanes because they're worried about getting a ticket, or they've had a ticket in the past because they've misused the bus lane. Just because you've had a ticket in the past doesn't mean that you're going to get another ticket in the future, so long as you read the signs. When a bus lane is in use, it's marked on the signs, and the signs have times on them. So during the times shown on the bus lane sign, it's a bus lane. Outside of the times shown on the bus lane sign, it is not a bus lane, it is just a lane. And when it's not an active bus lane, it's just a lane which you should be using because it helps to keep the traffic flowing. So long as you read the signs and you have an accurate clock on the bike that you're riding, there's no reason for you to gain a ticket when riding in a bus lane when it is not an active bus lane. If the bus lane sign doesn't have any times on it, then it's always a bus lane. It may say at any time, which means it's always a bus lane. So at any time, it's active. Those are the ones where you don't want to be riding or driving in them, because you will gain a ticket if there's cameras on that bus lane. So the rule is, read the times on the sign and know whether you can or cannot use the bus lane. If there's no times on the sign, don't use the bus lane. Because so many car drivers habitually don't read the signs and don't use the bus lanes, you do need to be a little bit careful if you are choosing to use the bus lane, and most of the other traffic is staying out of it, to the right usually, because what will regularly happen is somebody will want to turn left across the bus lane and they won't necessarily be looking for you, especially on a motorbike. So you have to be quite careful that if you are in the bus lane, traffic might turn across you to turn left, or the traffic may slow down in the right hand lane because somebody wants to turn right, or they're slowing down for another reason. And then the traffic behind those vehicles may dive out into the bus lane without checking properly for you. So be very careful if you are using a bus lane as a normal lane outside of the times when it's operative, that the other traffic may do strange things around you. So this bus lane is a 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. bus lane. At the moment it's 8:33 a.m, so we can't use that one because it's currently a bus lane. I regularly travel this road when I can use it, so I nearly used it then. That was quite entertaining. So make sure you don't always do what you always do. Read the signs and make an active and informed decision as opposed to just riding or driving out of habit. Travelling in this direction, we'll be coming up to the start of another bus lane. And on this occasion, the bus lane sign's on the left and it says at any time. So once again, this is a bus lane that we cannot use, and we can never use this bus lane unless we're an electric vehicle, as you can see. They have the ULEV marking on there. So buses and push bikes and electric vehicles can use this one. Reading bus lane signs is all part of planning ahead and reading your signs generally. So when you're approaching junctions or when you're generally riding down the road, try to lift your eyes up and look around for the signs. So here, for example, as we approach this junction, there's a lot of signs to have a look at. We know we're not turning left, so we can discount the left turn signs. Now we're travelling the road ahead. We need to read the signs ahead. Quite clearly, you can see a bus lane sign coming up on the left, and then a white sign beyond that which is telling you which lane to use and where to go in these lanes. There's 3 lanes ahead. The left turn lane, which is the one that I'm in, has a left arrow and then a dead end sign which says accept buses and cycles. Now you wouldn't believe how many students here, even though they're in this left turn lane, even though there's a left arrow marked clearly on the road, and there's the white sign ahead, go straight ahead into the red bus lane. It's even got red tarmac. So the number of students that sit at these traffic lights, potentially maybe they're behind a car, maybe they're behind a couple of cars. Either way, they don't lift their eyes up and read the signs as they come through here. They don't even read the road markings. And they go straight ahead into the bus lane, which you can see ahead there. It's about planning, and it's about reading those signs. Try to lift your eyes up, and rather than just focusing on one thing, try to multitask. You do need to read the signs, read the road markings, and work out which parts of the road you can and cannot use. Once again, notice the big merging lanes arrows on the left. That's your first big indicator, as well as the big blue sign. And again, there's no times on this sign, therefore it's always a bus lane, so we cannot use this bus lane. Just in case you didn't gather it, there's a left turning and then the bus lane continues. More signs again to help you to know whether or not you can use this bus lane. So using the excuse that you've once had a ticket, therefore you will never again use a bus lane, is a little bit daft, because imagine if we could use this bus lane, I wouldn't be sitting in a queue of traffic. The traffic would be flowing more easily if everybody actually used it when they could use it. Obviously we can't use this one, but it makes sense to use the lanes appropriately when you're able to. And when the bus lanes end, you should be moving back in to lane 1. On this occasion, the two lanes are going to merge. So you can see the blue end of bus lane sign, which sometimes it's a very small sign, that one, but it's telling you the bus lane is finishing, so you're either going to get 2 lanes ahead or the lanes are going to merge, and on this occasion the lanes will merge. But when it continues to be 2 lanes, you should be moving in at the end of the bus lane once the bus lane has finished, rather than staying out in lane 2. Simply because the highway code stipulates that we should be riding in the left of the available lanes for the direction that we wish to travel. So it's about actively applying your knowledge. Your observational skills and your knowledge combined will place you into the correct lane. When you are travelling next to a bus lane which you're unable to use, you should be looking for the ends of the bus lane, and also checking your mirrors for anybody who's cutting into it early before it ends to get up to the junction before you. Again, read the road ahead, bendy arrows, merging lanes arrows, and a bus lane sign which is slightly hiding in the trees, but you can quite clearly see the bus lane ahead. But you'd also be trying to read the signs to make sure that you are not moving when you don't need to. So keeping a good eye on your mirrors is important, so you know what is coming up next to you in the bus lane. Quite often the people in the bus lane, whether it's the electric vehicles on this road especially, or sometimes even the buses, will speed, or at least be able to go slightly faster than you're going in this lane if you're stuck behind somebody who's going slightly underneath the speed limit. But the electric vehicles on this road are particularly bad for speeding. Coming into a more built up area, there's lots of road signs around, so we're trying to read as many of them as we can to give ourselves more information. Up ahead we can see the end of bus lane sign. It's small, rectangular and blue. However, I'm not going to move in because I can make more progress in this lane. I would normally move in, but with the big queue of traffic, let's make some progress instead. Very good. Max, watch that indicator. That'll be your downfall. Cancel the damn thing. Tell yourself indicator on, indicator off. Lovely. At the traffic lights, we'll be turning left. Try and read your bus lane signs. You should be using the bus lane today because it's Sunday. This one says Monday to Friday. It's an easy one, that one. That was better, Bart. Well done. When the bus lane finishes, what do we do, Lee? Good. Try and spot when the bus lane finishes, so when the big solid fat white line finishes, you should be moving in if you can't see it continuing up the road any further. What are you changing lanes for, Lee? It's a bit early to be changing lanes. I'd probably be doing it just after the traffic lights for the parked car, because if that van had slowed down to turn right, you'd have then been stuck. Well done, Bart. Can we use the bus lane? Go on then. Well done. When it's not a bus lane, it's just a lane. And if you choose to pass these vehicles, don't linger in the blind spots and expect them to move over on you. I'd be using your horn, Bart. That van is wandering into the lane. He's obviously on the phone or distracted. Don't be afraid to use your horn. If you think somebody is distracted and you're passing them, don't be afraid to use it, because he was wandering terribly and he's dawdling, which makes me think he's on the phone or still pissed from last night. Keep reading your bus lane signs. If you can use it, you should use it. Good, well done.